Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with the review for Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 4, Episode 10. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, so let's talk about Gizelle and her new home. You guys, she purchased that home. She got that home, $900,000. She said a little bit over $900,000. I thought they said that the house was on sale for $1.7 million, but it was $1.2 million. So they did accept her offer a little over $900,000, and she is going to do it up. 3,800 square feet, you know, she got to do it big. All right, she is shopping for things that she is going to be having in her home, all high end, of course. She's got Robin with her, and Robin can't understand. Robin was like, shit, I done dumped $60,000 into this fucking money pit down in Baltimore, and you up here talking about buying all this is really how you gonna do it? Gizelle said yes. Only the best for Madam Gizelle. Okay. She says that it's 6 or 7 bedrooms. And Robin said, you sound like Karen. And she was like, oh no, but Karen don't have no kids. You know, I got kids. She still got 3 girls that's in the house. So that is the difference. 6 to 7 bedrooms still is a whole lot of house. But I mean, I guess one can be a gym, one can be an office. I mean, whatever. Now, while they're talking, we find out about this hoedown that Katie has invited them to. I guess Katie lives on a ranch or lives, you know, has farmland. And she wants the girls to all come to this hoedown. Random, right? I'll tell you, I love Katie more and more. Anyway, Gizelle has the nerve to bring up to Robin how she needed to just straight out apologize to Ashley at the Gay Pride festival last week instead of just coming at her the way that she, you know, that she did. And Robin was like, first the fuck off, I don't know what I was apologizing for 100% because I wasn't the one who brought it up. You were the one who brought it up. Gizelle was like, oh no, you're not gonna put this on me. Okay, I'm sick of everybody trying to put shit on me. Everybody blame me for something, maybe because you always wrapped up in it, Gizelle, but I love the way she tried to weasel her way out of it. Robin was like, no ma'am, you were the one who brought it up. And Gizelle was like, okay, I guess I will admit to it. I guess she saw that Robin wasn't backing down off of this one. Okay? Old puppet master was overtaken by the puppet. So now Gizelle was like, should we have pulled her to the side? Yeah, maybe you should have pulled her to the side. Really, you didn't have nothing to do with it, Gizelle. You weren't there at all, so really it wasn't your place to say anything. But I guess you're going to wrap it around, you know, that's your friend, and you guys got to keep her, you know, have her back or whatever. But yes, Gizelle, you the one started that mess. So thank you, Robin, for sticking up for yourself for once. Shall we see Karen and Uncle Jessup? They going motorcycle riding.
You know, after the salt came, I felt a new kind of energy. It's like I can live again.
She said that she rode dirt bikes back in the day, okay, when she's in the country. Now she gonna show Uncle Jessup just exactly what she made of. Uncle Jessup ain't looking too sure. Uncle Jessup got his suit clothes. Uncle Jessup, can you get some sweats? Somebody get him some Champion, you know, sweatsuit. So when she walks up, you know, she's all in their black leather coat and her, you know, spandex. I'm sure it's a unitard, I'm sure. And the guy was like, that's what you wearing today? Okay. Looking at her high ass heels, I was like, my husband rides motorcycles, and I'm gonna tell you what, heels is the most uncomfortable, most unrealistic thing to wear. I wore heels on the motorcycle once. I thought I was cute. My shit was so fucked up, my back was hurting and all I was hyped up. Like, no. You want to be cute or you want to be safe? Put your ass some thick ass boots on, flats. Okay, when you put your foot down on that ground, even if you're moving like 20 miles an hour, we'll rip that fucking heel off the back of that boot real quick. So, you know, she was trying to keep the whole little look. You know, I'm a motorcycle rider. So, yeah, this is the look. All right, well, today we shifting. She was like, oh,
you hear that, Uncle Jessup? We're shifting today.
So she's actually going to be the motorcycle rider, and Uncle Jessup is going to be on the back. Uncle Jessup got on the back. He's holding on to her shoulders, like right here.
She was like, Uncle Jessup, don't hold on to my shoulders. Hold on to my waist.
All Uncle Jessup could say was, don't go too fast. He was nervous. Uncle Jessup, get your ass up off this damn bike. Okay, we can't learn how to ride a bike with you on there holding on to her fucking shoulders. So yeah, Uncle Jessup, just sit this one out. So she's riding and she's having a good time. I feel so good for Karen. I don't know why, I just love Karen so. When she gets off the bike, you know, she was just like, woo!
It was so liberating. I feel free again.
I said, that's right, girl. Feel free. Now, you guys, let's talk about our girl Candace. She goes to see her man, Chris, at the restaurant. You know, they don't get to spend as much time with each other. And you guys know her mama's stressing her out. Chris, even in the midst of all of the storm, he is always her quiet. He is her eye, so to speak. So, you know, it starts off nicely, but it goes left real quick because Chris compares the drama of her arguing with her mother to their situations. She's trying to explain to him how the mom diminishes her, and he was just like, yeah, sort of like how you do me. And she was just like, I don't do that because I don't diminish you. And he says, no, you don't diminish me, but you know, you have your certain ways when we argue, and you know, you try to shut it down and all of that, and she was not wanting to hear it. First of all, every time she tries to say something, Chris keeps interrupting her, and I've asked you not to do that. Basically, she's upset that Chris is not agreeing with her. Chris is just trying to explain to her that even though the mom has her ways, that Candace also has her ways, and nobody gets anywhere because nobody is willing to give, you know, as far as the whole crying thing and, you know, just the dramatics of the argument, you know, nobody can ever get their point across. She doesn't want him to correct her, so she gets up, she's like, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. She goes and walks to her car. Well, Chris follows her to the car, like, okay, here we go. He's just trying to talk to her. She told him, I have asked you plenty of times, do not correct me, do not tell me what I am and am not doing, you know, I already told you what bothers me about my mother, and I don't need you, you know, she's going off on him. And what I do like about Chris is the fact that he keeps a level head and he doesn't let Candace just overrule him. Even though she doesn't like what he's saying, he's just like, you're gonna have to deal with it. She's like, I don't have to deal with it. Please move out of the way of my car, you know, or I'm gonna move you. She tries to push him and he was just like, really, are you doing this? Like, what is wrong with you, girl? Let me move out the way for this girl. So she takes off in her car. She's upset. I said, Candace, girl, this whole situation with your mama got you so completely out of sorts, don't she? Is it that serious? I mean, it's obvious. It must be some way down deep shit. But you cutting the fool, ain't you? Now we see Monique, she's at the baby store. She's going to be meeting Ashley there. She tells us now that Ashley wants to have a baby, you know, she's so excited about having her baby. She just wants to share her baby journey with Ashley. So when Ashley gets there, you know, and Monique is just trying to drop some wisdom on her, tells her, you know, when you get pregnant, when you have a baby, you know, it just takes you to a whole completely different self. Like me, I'm in my Zen mode right now. And none of that other stuff matters. And you can tell that Ashley is still very anxious to get pregnant. You know, she's kind of looking at Monique like, wow, you know, she can't wait to be there herself. But anyways, what about Candace's party? Okay, girl, you and Robin still friends? Because as far as Monique could see, it was too much. And I was thinking to myself, like, why didn't Monique see what we all saw, which was that Giselle was the one who started that mess? Now, it was strange because even though she blamed Robin when she was talking to Ashley, she said to us in the confessional that it was very clear that Giselle was the one who orchestrated that whole thing, and that it was really more on Giselle, you know, because Robin can't even think for herself. She's not the brain, she's Pinky. And I was just like, okay, so why would you tell Ashley then, Monique, that you wouldn't understand why Ashley and Robin would still be friends? I was like, okay, maybe, you know. Did anybody else pick up on that? Anyways, it was clear that Candace was dead set on getting at Ashley. Ashley was like, you know what? That's why I didn't even entertain her. Okay, because I already knew. But Monique said she was very uncomfortable at Candace's house. The whole thing was just really strange and way out. Everybody has had their moments in this group. Even Monique had her umbrella moment last season. Okay, a knife is a little bit different, but you know, we didn't think Candace was really going to wield the knife. And it was a butter knife. Still can do some damage if you jab it hard enough. She tells Ashley it's clear that Candace has a lot of shit going on in her life, you know, and she's kind of hopeful that her and Candace don't bump heads in the future because Candace seems to be on one. I said, keep on living, girl. Then it was so funny, Bravo, you know, with they shady self, like, the music was like, dun-dun-dun, and it said 2 days later. Okay, on the screen, real big. And then we find out the news hit about Michael Darby. He done grabbed the ass of the cameraman. And everybody is finding out about it. You know, Robin while she's eating her watermelon, and Karen while she's getting her makeup done. And everybody is reading about it like, oh my God, okay. 3 to 11 years is possibility that he could go to jail. Oh my goodness, they are all just salivating at the news. Probably the same way that they did when they found out about Karen having her tax problems. However, the show was already over and they didn't get to get any of that footage. And Karen dodged a bullet on that one. Candace and Monique are talking about it, and Monique says she just feels bad for her, but that she will keep her encouraged. But damn, this thing happened at the rainbow party, rainbow baby party. Candace was just like, yeah, all right, isn't that something? And you want to encourage the girl, even though she's done all this shit to you in the past. Okay, I told you. Then we see Ashley with Katie, and they're out shopping. What were they shopping for? Was this for the hoedown? I wasn't quite sure what they were shopping for. But while they are out, Giselle calls Ashley. And Giselle was like, oh, I was just reaching out to make sure that you're okay. And, Ashley was just like, am I okay about what? Ashley got her poker face on for real. All right, that bitch knew that call was coming. She figured it was going to hit at some point. Oh, I guess now is the moment. And Giselle's like, oh, okay. It's all over the news and it's all over the blogs, Shade Room and TMZ that Michael, was arrested and being charged for, grabbing some cameraman's ass, and that he might go to jail for 3 to 11 years. And Ashley was just like, first of all, that's all fake news. Okay. I already knew about this. We already talked to, the lawyers, the judges. It was dropped because of whatever reason. Okay. So yeah, don't believe the blogs, basically. I mean, what else could Ashley say? So Giselle's just like, oh, okay. So don't believe the blogs. Don't believe the blogs, girl. I already told you the charges have been dropped. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And her face the whole time is like this. When she hangs up the phone, Katie was just like, oh, so what was that about? Ashley was just like, oh, this stuff, with Michael supposedly grabbing somebody's ass. But it's just real suspect that all of these things are coming about. First, the whole he wants to suck somebody's dick, and now this whole thing about him grabbing ass. It's real suspect. I was like, you need to talk to the Bravo producers, girl. I'm thinking to myself, though, if Michael wouldn't give him the, if Michael ain't out there wilding like he has been, then nobody would have the chance to be suspect and putting all this information out at the same time. So I'm just like, girl, it's your man now. It's your man. He doing what he doing. Maybe you need to put a lasso on him and gather him together. Now, Candace later on goes over to Monique's house. Okay. She says that going over to Monique's house is like going over family's house. She's like a sister to her. I was like, now I never got sister between Monique and Candace, but okay. Anyways, you guys, Monique's house is real beautiful. Like, Monique and Chris have real money. She is a real housewife around there. She's talking about setting up the nursery for the baby, getting the bassinet together. This is her third child, so she already has a lot of the stuff. She don't even really need anything anymore. So they sit down, they had cut up some fruit and look like they're having some little drinks or whatever, some juice. And so Monique is asking Candace, like, have you calmed down from, the party? And, Candace is sort of like, because Monique was just like, you was up there high, like Venus high. Like, she always got to show some analogy. Not, Venus and Serena high. I'm talking about Venus up in Saturn, up in space. Her whole thing was like, you let Ashley get up under your skin. It was clear. Chris couldn't even calm your ass down. And you don't never want to let somebody get you to that point, especially in your own house. Girl, you was giving out of control vibes, just basically throwing a temper tantrum in your own home. And it showed because the women there, nobody respected you. They kind of look at you as this child. All of the stuff that Monique was saying was all the stuff that we were saying last week. I'm sorry, you guys. Candace is immature. I'm not even sure if immature is the word. Candace does not know how to handle this group of girls. She will figure it out. It takes a while to get there. Everybody else had a 2-year head start. But the way that Candace operates, it makes them not respect her at all. Okay, and she's gonna have to come up with a better game plan. And that's all Monique was really trying to tell her. But Candace disagrees. She just doesn't want anybody to talk about her mother. And Monique was like, but you bring her up all the time. Okay, well, I can bring her up because that's my mama. Okay, well, that's the same. Look, If you're going to put shit out there, then people are going to comment on it. If you don't want people to even mention anything about you or your mom or anything, don't tell anybody anything. Because they always going to be offering an opinion, and most of the times you don't want to hear it, right? Okay, so Monique tells her, well, then you probably shouldn't talk about your mom anymore. And Candace again shuts it down. You know what? Okay, she doesn't want to talk about this any longer. Now let's get to this whole down. Before everybody gets there, Robin is there with Katie. You know, Katie is just so quirky. You know, now this is the same property that she's had all this time. She even tells us that, well, you know, out there in the field. What was the boyfriend's name? Andy? That was where he proposed to her. And, you know, she's showing Robin around. She's just like, don't you love it? Look, rub on the walls. Rub the walls. The walls are nice. And it's just like real different. You know, Robin is loving the place. Like, this is so nice. You know, like, this is really what you have. Oh yeah, honey, Katie got some money for real in her life. She's got her godmother there and one of her neighbors, you know, so she's got other people there. I said, girl, you want to embarrass yourself like that? Don't have them there. Excuse me. Don't have them there with them fools that's fixing to come here. But the girls are on their way. We see Karen on her way, and she's got Monique with her. They're talking about this whole groping thing with Michael. And, you know, Monique says, oh, how embarrassing it must be, you know, to have to deal with that whole situation. You know, they're gossiping about it. We see Giselle and Ashley, they're in a car coming together. Giselle goes on and tells Ashley, you know, she's sorry because after she talked to Robin, she realized that maybe she was the one who brought it up. How about Ashley said, yeah, I know that Giselle likes to stir the pot. However, it was still on Robin. I said, now you gonna sit here and blame Robin after Giselle has even taken... Let me tell you something. Y'all, that Giselle is magical. That bitch can admit to something and still won't have to take the blame. They still gonna blame Robin, even though Giselle said it. I was like, Ashley, you just want to be mad at Robin. You just want to be mad at Robin at this point. Okay? It don't even make no sense that you would still, even though Giselle clearly said it. I'm amazed at the things that Giselle is able to achieve. She is stirring up the pot so much between these girls. Ain't got a storyline the first on this show. Okay? We done moved it on along from Giselle trying to deal with herself. Honey, Giselle is dealing with everybody else. Then Giselle tries to ask her about Michael. You know, you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. And she was like, and I won't. But me and Michael are stronger than ever. And Giselle still tries to pry in it. But yeah, Ashley knows how to handle Giselle. And Ashley knows what is waiting for her at that ranch when she gets there. I know she probably like, oh, this is going to be a long ass fucking day. So people start arriving. Candace, Monique, Karen, they get there first. You know, Robin is telling Monique and Karen how Giselle told her that Ashley held her own, you know, and played it cool when she asked her about, you know, the situation with Michaels. And Ashley is in her car with Giselle, and she tells us very clearly that she is not going to let nobody talk out the side of their neck about her man. I said, that's right, girl. You better stand up for Pawpaw. And sure enough, when she gets there, honey, she plays it off. She's all, hey, girls, what's up? You know, it's like, oh, this is how we gonna be today. Yes, this is exactly how Ashley's gonna be. Ashley is not gonna let you guys see her sweat. And Candace says, even though she feels vindicated, you know, she still doesn't, you know, like that this is happening to Ashley. I'm thinking to myself, like, see, that's what I'm talking about. You putting way too much into somebody else's life. Why do you feel vindicated? What is the vindication? Nothing that happens in Ashley's life is affecting you. That is what we are trying to get clear to Candace. Now, before we even get started with the day, Robin does pull Ashley to the side and tries to apologize again. Like, you know, I'm sorry about what happened. The way it came out, you know, that wasn't cool. And now it makes even more sense, you know, that you were dealing with what you were dealing with, you know, behind the scenes. We didn't know anything about it. Now I understand why you might have even been even more touchy about it. And Ashley appreciates that. Yes, that's true. So thank you. So, okay, I guess. So now we move on to the fun and games. You know, we got the bag toss. We got the tug of war. They have drinks. Yeah, let's have Katie give us the toast, you know. Katie's real low key. Let's toast to a simpler time and place. A place of bucolic beauty. A place of friendship and love. A place of peace where I was like, girl, where you come from with all this? Everybody was like, bucolic beauty, okay. Okay, so after all of that, then we just, you know what, let's see. While they sitting there grubbing, Candace wants to take this moment to apologize to everybody, for losing control in her home. She never wants people to feel uncomfortable in her home. That was never her intention. This bitch Giselle gonna be like, okay, that's all fine and good. Thank you for the apology, but that needs to be directed to that end of the table. I was like, bitch, who are you? They really do talk to Candace like she's a fucking child. And that's why she acts out like she's a fucking child. Everybody needs to rearrange, okay, their approaches to each other. Because I was like, bitch, you don't tell me who I fucking need to apologize. Candace was like, well, Giselle, you told me that Ashley never wants to speak to me again. Karen is sitting there watching.
Giselle being messy is a train that always arrives on time.
This bitch got her nerves. Now, Ashley says, you know what, while we're sitting here talking as well, I just want to address the elephant that's in the room. Situation with Michael, She takes a page out of Karen's book from last season and says that she can't talk about it. Robin is just like, it's amazing that all of the shit that Ashley has been in, child, and Bravo takes us down a good memory stroll of all of the shit, the pain, the turmoil, the confusion that Hurricane Ashley has blown through the show, with all of the characters, all of the people on this show. How she's just been basically a thorn in everybody's side, and all of a sudden she can't talk about it. So they all just sort of like, ain't this about some shit?
Well, Ashley, let me just say that I hope that it all works out for you and Michael. I really do.
Giselle says, oh, so you tell her that now, but you was high-fiving Robin, down at the party the other day. And, Karen was just like, well, okay, I did high-five Robin. I did, but Karen is trying to explain what she did that for. And Monique was just like, everybody was fucking wrong. Everybody was wrong at that party. And they were. Except for my girl, Katie. Katie was just trying to live. Candace says, well, her whole thing is that Ashley needs to just be open and honest with this group of girls, with whatever is going on in her life. Basically, stop lying. And Ashley was like, and you don't tell me whether or not I want to have a baby. I said, oh my God, we about to start up with this mess again. Candace says, you know what, Ashley, that whole thing about you trying to have a baby is bullshit. And Giselle says, you know what? You're being judgmental. And Candace says, I'm not being judgmental. It is my opinion, and I am entitled to my opinion. You can still have an opinion, and your opinion can still be judgmental. And again, Candace starts up with this tantrum. Let me tell you, I am so fucking tired of Candace immediately blowing off. Even though the girls do pick at her and, get her to that point, I just get tired of her never knowing how to react. This shit is tired. Quit fucking going off on every damn body. Your point gets lost when you are so irrational. You could be making complete sense. You could be the right person and nobody wants to listen because of the way that you approach things. That shit is tiring. And I was just like, oh my God, Candace, you are really wearing me out. You are wearing me out. Okay, Candace is going on and on, that I do what everybody else wants to do. I say what everybody else is thinking. Everybody just don't want to say it, blah, 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 blah. Now, we thinking that it's about to be done. The table is about to break up. And then Ashley jumps on Karen. Karen, well, do I sense an attitude? Ashley? Of course you do, because Ashley is upset about, Karen saying some nice things to her at the party, but as soon as she leaves, she got all this shit to say behind her back. And Karen was just like, well, Ashley, you do that to everybody. You do that to everybody. Ashley is so self-righteous and cannot even understand the things that she does. I was just like, oh my God. Nothing worse than somebody who purposely ignores all of their wrongdoing. I said, that's why I'm just loving the fact that the girls was jumping all on Ashley too, okay? And that bitch was fighting back, but they was letting her have it.
Oh, Ashley, whatever. You want everybody to talk about it, but then when it happens to you, all of a sudden you can't talk about it.
Ashley was just like, I could bring up the whole thing about the taxes, and Karen is walking out. She comes out. She says, you know what? Clankety clink. Clankety clink. That bar of soap. You may want to help your husband. I was cracking up. And Ashley was more than scratched the neck. Of course, Karen still got a whole lot left in her. You didn't push the woman to this. And Candace comes and pulls her off. And Karen's just like, listen, the bottom line is this. I don't wish the girl any ill will, but I would be well within my right. And you would. Ashley gave you the blues last season. So you definitely could give it to her. I'm glad that you gave her what you gave her, and I wish you would have gave her a little bit more. Ashley deserves all of that. Candace says, She just feels like, everybody is there being a hypocrite, and she's tired of people trying to tell her what she should do. And Monique walks up, and Monique basically tells Candace that she's being childish. Now, in this moment, even though Monique is trying to tell Candace about herself, and I believe that Monique has, good intentions, maybe right now is not the time to be telling her again, because emotions are too high. But, Monique does tell her, and Monique's make perfect sense. You're acting like a child. You're having another tantrum. I just told you about this at the house the other day. Here you go doing this shit again. The fuck is wrong with you? Candace don't want to hear, what, why don't you go back over there and talk to you? And Monique was like, you're not going to sit up here and talk to me like I'm a child, little girl. Oh, why you call her a little girl? Okay. Now Candace is really going to act like a little girl. And Monique tells her, you are fighting a battle that is not even yours. Candace can't understand why Monique still wants to be Ashley's friend. My whole thing, and this is how I know that Candace still has some growing up to do. If Monique has decided that she wants to be Ashley's friend, whether or not you agree with it, there's nothing that you can do about it. Okay? You up here fighting this battle, like Monique said, that has nothing to do with you. Let Monique deal with the fact that Ashley has crossed her many times and now she still wants to be her friend. Maybe Monique has that in her where she just has to forgive and move on with her life. The fact that you sitting here snotting and crying and being upset about the shit that has happened, that has nothing to do with you. We got the point. You got Ashley. We got it. We understand. But all this that you're doing is so unnecessary. And that's all Monique was trying to say. And you could tell that Monique was very hurt because she was like, I was just trying to be your friend. I was just trying to help you. Okay, she got all broke up and started crying. They had to take Monique off. And Candace says, you know what? She's better than this. Okay, she's fighting with her mom. She's fighting with her husband. Now she's fighting with her friends. Okay, she doesn't want this kind of energy around her. Well, then stop doing it. Stop doing it. Because I know that there's people out there who love to see this. Oh, Candace standing up for herself. And, ain't nobody, I love the fact that Candace is a spitfire and all of that. Yeah, that shit ain't cute. And I'm going to tell you what. It might not be next season. It may be the season after that. Some shit is going to go down with Candace. Okay? Because it always comes around. Y'all kept on talking about that karma, right? It happens to everybody. Candace is not immune. Alright, rock stars, that's it. I still got to do claws, so let me get off of here and make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel's for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.